over the middle in case somebody was going to tape it and play it back. I mean, and if you think some urban label's going to ditch their brothers to come over to you, you're crazy.
Yeah, this is another air talent question. This is not Geraldo. You'll get your turn. Okay, just relax. For Mr. Cruz from St. Louis, KBQ. And not to be flip, because I don't know if...
Coming.
What's that?
I knew this was coming. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I don't know how involved you were with the situation itself, but your station recently fired the morning guys, and in an odd twist, turned around and sued them. Is that still going on? The station is suing the morning hosts.
Suit has been filed, yes.
Suit has been filed. My question is, how are you going to get applicants for that opening? Because if I'm looking at that situation, I'm thinking, well, I could be sued. I got firing. I've pretty much made a career out of. But going to a place where I could be sued.
Welcome to radio.
Huh? Well, yeah.
Welcome to radio.
But going to a place where I could be sued, I mean, St. Louis looks like Bucharest with an arch at this point.
Hold on a second. I got a couple of things to say. I got a funny feeling about half these PDs ought to come down here because there's a lot better ones out here from the questions I've heard. All I can say is that I've been involved with many of these radio stations up here, and number one, you've got these consultants, these purveyors of insecurity who don't even know how to walk into a radio station and in 5 minutes figure out what the hell is wrong with it. And they should be able to, but they want that one-year contract to sell you that happy pill. And your baby boomer general manager keeps buying into it and still sucks. And so you wonder, how come we all have a 4-point something? There's a guy in that panel up there who had a 30 share radio station. 2 guys up there, who now has a 6-share radio station. No wonder he doesn't listen to trades. Record companies today are selling more records and, well, at least as many records as they ever have without you. That's a crying shame. They used to need you. And you consultant robots who go around toting after the fact that you think you know what's going on, when the consultant is actually the one that's doing the work to suck the street dry. You should be embarrassed. You should fall off your chair. Where's the mentorship? Lisa, you were talking about air talent. And Jay, you were talking about air talent. You know, nourish them. Kick their ass. That's what mentors are for. Kick their ass until they go, God, no, and they cry on the way home. They'll come back a better disc jockey, you know? They don't want to be, you know, it's like, what is this? You know, these people, these little $1.98 disc jockeys, $1.68 programmers, and $1.25 general managers, and God, I don't know if I can even attach a price tag to a consultant these days. As far as the records go, you know, Mason, you had a good point on not getting a couple of records that you thought you might want to play. Well, what the hell's wrong with you to go out to the to the record store and buy it? That's what the consumers do.
That's what we did.
Well, then good. But don't bitch about it. These people out here, if you'd properly identify your format, there's a couple of stations up there that are saying they're CHR stations that are absolute, and you know what you are, coon stations. I'll tell you something. There's a lot of people out there that are looking for honesty, and Brian Burns said something that was really, really good. You don't need a bunch of contests. Be honest. Be entertaining. Go out there, suck the streets, be imaginative, have a good time, and that's the way it's always been. Where is it? This bland bullshit that's been going on with the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Hey, come on.
They're just going to turn to cable radio because they won't have to listen to the spots of the bullshit. So either entertain or go sell shoes.
You talk about mainstream, you talk about research, you talk about contests, you talk about I don't play this, I don't play that, I don't play this. What do you play? What the hell do you play? Where's your attitude? Where in the world is your animation? Properly identify the radio station, the record company will know who you are. And they'll send you the records. You won't have to go out and buy your little CDs. Be nice to the people. As far as the record, I'm not in the record business, and I gave them a hard time too when I was programming. Be nice. Bill Gavin said it a long time ago. I know Dave Sholin will remember this. Be nice to the people who are paid to be your friend, and they'll be your friend. Know your market. Get down with the people. Get on the streets. If you have to go to the gay bars, the black bars, the rock bars, this, that, or the other, whatever it is, go there. What, are you embarrassed? There's some really talented people on that panel right there. Is it job security? The Postmaster General 2 years ago said he felt that he only expected 2 years job security. That's the Postmaster General. He figured that was about average. What are you guys looking for?
You know, you may not agree with everything Mark says, but at least he's emotional about what we do, and that's probably one of the biggest crimes that's happened in this industry, is it's turned into research, and all the emotion has been sucked out of it.
And the medium is the message. If the medium is the message, then why don't we send a message that connects with the consumer? They demand it, with or without you.
The sad thing is, I agree with a lot of what Mark's got to say, and it'll probably be the only time I ever say that in my life. I'm very offended at what you called my radio station. I'll talk to you about that later. But I will say that you're absolutely right. One thing you said one time is a radio station should be sexy and have emotion and take chances. And maybe that's why you're not running a radio station right now. People are afraid to have you taking chances of being sexy. That could be the case.
It costs too much money.
Yeah, well, that could be the case. Maybe it does cost too much money. But that's, again, getting back to what I was saying before, it's the last time I'm going to say it, is let's talk about programming. Let's talk about a radio station. How can you get ratings? How can you be sexy and be emotional and have the vibe? And that's, I think what Mark's trying to say right there.
Jay, you were talking about why you're not getting questions about, not just you, but about programming. And the big question that I have, in all respect to everybody on the panel and programmers everywhere, is what kind of questions do you want to hear about 12 in a row? I mean, it's very commendable that you and Jefferson and a number of stations are doing Peace in the Street and other stuff, which used to be a staple of all top 40 radio. It was public affairs, and every station should be doing that. But but the stuff that involves programming isn't necessarily the records. It isn't necessarily public affairs. It's what has anybody done out there on the panel, and what's anybody got for ideas about how to entertain the audience, not the music. What other ingredients as far as entertainment are concerned? What are you putting in between the songs? And I'm not sure there's any real inspiring things there. I think JJ is doing more personality than a lot of stations right now. But there's not a lot of entertaining going on out there, and we wonder why we're losing our CHR shares. There's no entertainment, and that's why nobody's asking any questions, because nobody's got any. I don't think anybody's setting any examples.
Right. Companionship, that's all. During my programming days in the Jurassic era, can I use that word? That shit's copyrighted, right? My mentor, as he was at least to a couple of other people in this room, was Buzz Bennett. And I'm sure Buzz stole it, and it seems very simple, but the fact is that radio is a companion. If you're stuck in an elevator with 8 other passengers, right? And you're going to get to know these people pretty well over the course of an hour or so before you slice each other's necks. The fact is that you're going to get to know each of these people a little bit, just like maybe the 8 or 10 major radio stations on the dial in your marketplace. Well, 1 or 2 of these passengers, or 1 or 2 of these radio stations, are going to become more special companions to you than the others. And that's what it's about. Are you going to become their companion, or are you just going to be one of the others?
The research
Let's
never.
be honest, it happens all the time, doesn't
The
it?
research never says anything. All you get back are numbers. It's all interpretation. I know a lot of programmers who will get research back, and it's like, well, this is exactly what I thought. And you get someone else look at the same piece of research and say, no, you're totally wrong. And they fight over that. All you get back are numbers. I mean, you have to know your market and what's going on to do something with it. But, you know, research never says anything.
Top 40, as any radio, as any consultant, as any programmer that's been around for a while, as Gordon McClendon would say, is very cyclical. And for what we perceive today as demise, who's to say tomorrow won't be success? But you've got 11 people up here that are very, very dedicated and very strong workers to our business, and for that, they're to be commended. Thank you very much.
I'd like to take this time to apologize for Mark Driscoll. Joel Denver.
Let's hear it for Bobby Poe. Busts his ass to bring this to us every year. We love you, Bobby.
Tis the Hotbox panel. We have an esteemed panel of experts here, and we're going to introduce them, and we're going to get down to this, maybe make some dents and some problems out there today. We'll start down at the back end over here. From RCA Records, Vice President Pop Promotion, it's Skippy Bishop. From TICFM in Hartford, Assistant Program Director, Music Director, and Midday Personality, Dana London. Director of West Coast National Pop Promotion for Epic Records, it's Susie Sponder. Mix 107.3, Hometown DC, it's Linda Silver, Music Director. It's Mercury's National Promotion honcho, Don Coddington. WPGC Assistant Program Director, Afternoon Driver, Paco Lopez.
Wait a minute. I just wanted to say we want to thank you all for coming out and for being here, especially after the last panel. My name is Paco. I'm the token spick at the Coon Station, PGC.
Okay, and we have Reprise's National Promotion Director, Pop and Crossover Promotion, Nancy Levin. Did I get the title right? Yay, all right. From the Power Pig in Tampa, Hawk Harrison. Fabio! From Geffen Records, National Promotion Director, based in Atlanta, George Capolini. Q102 Philadelphia, Music Director, Assistant Program Director, it's Glenn Kalina. Atlantic Records Vice President Pop Promotion, Joe Iannello. Assistant Program Director, Music Director, Kiss 108 Boston, it's Cadillac Jack McCartney. MCA Director, East Coast, National Promotion, it's Paul Barrett from Boston. Al BD, need no more to say, man, you know where he's at. Yo, Ming. And Greg Lee, National Crossover Promotion Director for Warner Brothers Records. I will say one thing, that one of the things Jay Stevens said was extremely important and extremely correct. Maybe this issue of the problem between this little war that's going on between the record companies internally and how it's affecting these gentlemen and ladies up there on this podium, it was not necessarily the place in that last panel. But however, this is the place. This is the hot box, and we're going to get into this issue right here.
And we see a lot of racism, and I have to go back to...
In our industry?
Yeah. I have to go back into what the last panel, what happened when Mark Driscoll called PGC basically a coon station. Basically, I mean, you look at a station like PGC that has blacks, Cuban and Italian, whites, and all different kinds of people. The station knows no color. By the way, we vote for LBD in Billboard, Air Personality, major market of the year. Thank you very much. In any case, you see the station that has really no color, and we're programming to a market that's